When to get a divorce. My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, but I haven't always been a marriage saver, only for the last 20 years or so. Before that, I was a divorce mediator. So I saw all the bad reasons for getting a divorce. Because I can tell you right now, looking back, I don't think there is one couple who I worked with that should have had a divorce. But I didn't know any better at the time. I had to learn about marriage. I had to understand marriage better. So now I have a different perspective. In those days, I actually believed in divorce. I thought you don't get along, you part as friends as best you can, and you get on with your lives. I didn't realize the negative impact that it has on the children, on the individuals. It's very, very difficult. They don't tell you the truth. And your mind doesn't tell you the truth. You just want to get away from your pain, and you can get away from your pain, and you can get away from your pain without getting a divorce, but there are times when you should. When are those times? So, first I'm going to give you sort of the general. You ended up marrying a pedophile you didn't know. Pedophilia is something that is a big problem. There's a few. So one of you is involved in crime, very deep in crime. What are you going to do? Be married from prison? Another, drugs. Now, obviously, if someone is going through drug problems and you've been married for a while and you want to be there to help them, or alcoholism, it's kind of an obligation to stick it out to a degree. But what if it becomes abusive? It's very difficult for us here to tell you what to do in those situations, but many of those are realistic grounds for a divorce. It doesn't have to be a nasty divorce. There could be understanding involved. I mean, if you're married to a junkie, it's tough. And if they're not doing what they need to do to straighten themselves out, it's tough. And no matter how much loving support you give, and if you have children, all of your focus is going to be sucked into their black hole of junkieism. So those are some examples. Then there's other examples. And some of these I hate talking about because it sounds so one-sided and so hopeless. So there's a big difference between a man cheating on his wife and a wife cheating on her husband. And you could accuse me of doing a double standard, but it's complicated. And I mean, for my own wife, it's not complicated. If I cheated on her, it would be over. Bam. But in many cases, it should be considered to be a wake-up call. You should see it as, what were we doing wrong? Why is he not staying home? What am I doing? What am I not doing? Where he's not feeling everything that he should be feeling in the marriage. So if you're the woman and your husband has cheated on you, usually that marriage can be reconstructed and made amazingly better. And even with just you doing all the quote-unquote work. And the good news is that the work you're doing is work you should have been doing all along anyway. You know, one of the things that is totally misunderstood about marriage is that marriage is a spiritual path. It's an individual spiritual path that two people get on together. And as an individual, your goal should be happiness through love. And women are deeper than men. I'm sorry, but they are. Women are automatically connected to their heart because nature has set it up that way so they could raise children and nurture them. Men are not connected to their heart in that way. So I don't have a blanket. If your husband cheated on you, it's grounds for divorce. On the other hand, if a wife has cheated on her husband, it has been proven to us and to every psychologist and marriage counselor I have ever spoken with that that marriage is never going to come back together. And I could give you a bunch of reasons why that's true. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to say statistically, experientially, it's much tougher. So there are obviously going to be other considerations. We've had people write to us. So, my husband has been on a business trip for a year now. I think those grounds for divorce. Ultimately, you have to make that choice for yourself. No one can make it for you. But you could write in. Our counselors, it's a free service. We're a nonprofit foundation. Our counselors, I've trained them all, will give you the best answer they can. And it's not always going to be perfect, but usually it's pretty darn good. So write in to the counselor if you need that kind of advice. Other than that, I hope this was somewhat helpful. If you would like to subscribe, you can. If you'd like to like this, you can. If you'd like to not like it, you can do that too. Write in a comment. We're here for you. We hope we can be of service. And blessings to you. Blessings to your spouse and blessings to your family. God bless. Thank you. Thank you for coming by.